back to another episode of Let's Play Horizon Zero Dawn. My name is Kelthos, and in the last episode, we had just beaten Hephaestus, and we came back here with Artok, and we're supposed to talk to Artok and CYAN and see what they have to say about everything. And so in this episode, that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to continue on with probably the main quest. So here we go. Artok's over there, so let's talk to CYAN first.
Hello,
CYAN.
Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility.
Have you now?
Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus.
Good.
I feel profound grief over Aurea's death.
I bet you do. You guys seemed pretty,
emotion,
connected.
But this is something new.
CYAN, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring.
Good. I'm glad you at least I can offer you some reassurance.
You have technological aptitude,
if nothing else,
and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
Sure. Oh, also, I wanted to pause it so I could talk for a second. I got a new mic. I explained that in my other Let's Play, but maybe if you guys don't watch the Borderlands Let's Play, you might not know. But I got a new mic because my other mic broke, and that's why I posted that thing that I posted about not being able to record videos or post videos. But you guys will have to let me know if the settings are right, or if I need to turn it up or down or whatever. So, but yeah, it sounds good to me and everything. In post-recording and stuff in the other game that I was playing in my Borderlands Let's Play, but we'll have to see about here. What are you?
Artificial intelligence, CYAN? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay,
Makes sense.
That's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude.
That sounds horrible.
I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Was Hephaestus
Who was the
destroyed?
demon? Hephaestus. Destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you
Never
mean?
where?
It infiltrated and controlled
Oh,
me
okay,
from a
yeah.
remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly,
What about you and
How
Hephaestus?
did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error.
Oh,
I
that's
was
how it got
flooded
in.
with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Aurea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes, I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did
Yeah,
so,
because you were under his
Hephaestus
control.
hurt me until I capitulated.
How could he hurt you? You're
It
an
forced
AI.
me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
Hephaestus and Zero Dawn, what do they have in
I know where
common?
Hephaestus came from.
Oh, she knows already.
Long
Okay.
ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did.
Makes sense.
That's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life.
And split them up.
She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
Yes, it does. Why does Hephaestus want to kill?
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes,
Oh, he's just
all
trying to
machines
keep
for
them to
parts.
protect
This must be the
themselves.
source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus.
Yeah, everyone has to stop pretty
A
much.
better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control.
But how are we going to do
When
that?
I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
Uh-oh.
Me both.
Color change. I found something that calmed the
I ran across a
machines.
strange piece of gear. Fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful. You could walk right up to them.
Interesting. You said that Gaia destroyed herself. How was this accomplished?
And
Blew yourself up.
explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So you think the fragment was part of her?
It's
Probably.
only speculation, but it is possible. She must have had complete control over machines that were part of her system. The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive would certainly have been part of her programming.
Oh,
It would
okay.
have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI. I wish she had survived.
Believe
Me
son.
too.
So do I.
Tell me about these metal
I found the
flowers.
strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy.
Exactly, but thanks for the
Something must have
tangent.
made
That was
these
interesting.
machines, and the foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system.
Probably.
Is it
They're
possible
probably
that their
like
creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus.
things that hold seeds.
Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer. In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you
That's
do?
why you
She
like
said I
poetry.
passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
Okay, what is Firebreak
This
about?
Firebreak project. It was to stop a huge volcanic eruption,
Yes,
Yep.
I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
but it's been a long time, CYAN. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems.
Good.
Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes,
Just a little bit.
if only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
I'm sure they do. What about your colleagues?
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, CYAN?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation.
I bet.
There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased.
They probably are.
I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Okay, thank you. Something for us to listen to or read at the end here. What about Aurea?
It meant a lot to Aurea.
Once I understood Aurea's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them.
Well,
Yet
at least
I
you were
did
able
not
to help her.
comprehend that the depth of Aurea's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, CYAN. But she was determined.
And you're an AI, so you can't really do that. What about
How is
Aratak?
Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
Well, of course he
No
does.
surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Aurea, perhaps he and I will help each other.
Yeah, you
I
can help
believe
each
this
other
will lead to
grieve.
catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
Okay, I got other questions. What about
So
Yellowstone?
in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere.
People aren't allowed to hunt there.
Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, CYAN.
What? Owls?
Were there many
Oh,
artificial
AIs.
intelligences like you in the
I'm a dumbass, sorry.
They could just make you.
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistance to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for
Makes
my
sense.
processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
You have to set some limitations, otherwise they'll take over, like some of the other ones did. Can you tell me about Ted Faro?
CYAN, do you know the name Ted Faro?
Are you referring to Theodore Faro, CEO of Faro Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Faro was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications.
But before that.
But
they
before
were-
this pivot,
Yeah.
Mr. Faro spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one.
Yep.
And
Tell me about Elizabeth Sobek.
Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the...
The scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
No, it's fine. Didn't disappoint, which is what you should have said, Aloy. What was it like?
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, CYAN.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
Of course not. What about this upheaval?
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So
Yeah, we heard
there
about
wasn't
that.
enough room for people on the whole Earth.
Yes, billions were displaced and millions perished.
'Cause there was
as
huge
much
parts
as
of the Earth you
20%
couldn't live
of
on,
the global
Aloy.
population. Until the clawback.
Tell me about the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes, these crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone.
Too little, too late, probably.
I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
No, because you're still keeping the volcano from destroying the Earth, so I'm pretty sure you succeeded in some parts of it. Tell me about the dam.
Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors.
Of course.
After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party.
I discovered
These
those as well.
provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
Okay, tell me about drones.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones.
Of course you
Clearly,
did.
he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Okay, I think that's it, so let's go back and
I
farewell.
should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk.
What about it?
I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
You've got to tell them the truth. Use your judgment. Yeah, use your judgment, because I'm sure you can tell. I don't know. She should also take it gently, too, because they, know nothing about technology. Use your
I
judgment.
trust your judgment, CYAN. You were cautious with Araya. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a
Oh, there's a
supernatural
timer.
entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can.
Yeah.
The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you
All right.
return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, CYAN. I'll come back when I can.
We will.
I should check on Aratak.
Oh, when you
See
wake.
how he's doing.
We'll check on Aratak in the next episode, and we'll also check out that when you wake thing as well. So in the next episode, that's what we'll do, and then we'll continue on with the main game. I'm sorry this episode was mostly just, well, it was just the conversation with CYAN. It just took a long time, and I'm interested in all the bits of lore I can get, even though I've already played this before and I know it all. I just wanted you guys to be able to experience it too. But anyway, yeah, in the next episode, we'll talk to Aratak and we'll listen to that thing, and then we'll continue on. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you like what you see, I suggest you subscribe to my channel so you can see the new videos I post every single day. And if you really like the videos, I'd really like it if you could leave a thumbs up and a comment. That way I could have some interaction on my channel and know that people are actually watching and actually care. And if you want to know when I post my videos exactly when I post them, the best way to do that is to turn on your notifications as well. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.